Hey guys, it's Zach. It finally happened. I was not expecting this to happen, but a government official actually went and said, okay, Bank of Canada is going a little crazy. Can we slow down with the hikes? Earlier this month, we've had landlords who've purchased several properties feeling the pinch with these rate hikes and going on strikes and saying this has to stop. But when a government official comments on the interest hikes and what Bank of Canada is doing, that gets me thinking, is something going to change? Why would a news like this come out right before the rate hike? So if you don't know, tomorrow Bank of Canada is due to announce their next rate change. Would they be increasing it? Would they be dropping it? Now, all of us were anticipating an increase of 75 basis points. And there's talk that this might be the last one, or there might be at least one more, maybe not. However, the inflation numbers came in at 6.9% for September, which was discouraging. Compared to August, which was 7%, it only dropped by 0.1%. So NDP leader Jagmeet Singh, in a letter, mentioned a bunch of points questioning the validity of these changes and how it's affecting Canadians. And there's 2 points in this that are very interesting for me. The first one is employees are not doing well, which means you as an employee, your salary did not go up by 7%, and with the rate hikes and your day-to-day life is becoming more miserable. And his second point is he's hinting in punishing price fixing by corporations. This is, if you haven't been reading the news, Loblaws and a bunch of other companies were accused of fixing the price of their products, colluding together to set it at a specific price point. With companies like that releasing their quarterly reports, having made so much more money during this time, it is a fantastic reason to point fingers at them saying, you guys are increasing the prices and making the inflation happen. Now, of course, in politics, everyone's blaming someone, but the point that they're making here got me thinking about Bank of Canada and what tools they have in order for them to help stabilize the economy. So if you did not know, Bank of Canada is a separate entity to the government. It is not controlled by the government, and their job is to provide the money that people use and help maintain a stable value, because money doesn't really mean anything, and if there's too much of it printed or too little of it printed, it can affect the value of that currency, in this case the Canadian dollars, and that's gonna be affecting imports cost, how much your iPhone's gonna cost, and how much you'll be paying for eggs. So Bank of Canada's main target is to maintain a 2% inflation rate. They set that up themselves. They want it to be at 2%. It's the best rate, ideal rate, where the economy can continue to grow without it being hindered. Allow people and businesses to borrow money so they can expand their business and push operations forward without being penalized by higher interest rates. Now, Bank of Canada has 2 tools to control the supply of money. One is the gas pedal, which is printing money. The more money Bank of Canada prints, the more we have supply of it, and that's the gas pedal, which would accelerate inflation. And the other tool is the brake pedal to bring inflation down, is increasing interest rate. In this video, I'm not going to discuss the entire monetary system and how it works. However, I'm thinking to make a full video on this because I've had conversations with several people who are, some work in the banking industry, some work in real estate, finance, and I got so many mixed answers. How is inflation calculated? Who prints the money? Where the money goes? How do you remove money from circulation? So I'm going to make a full video on that. So if you want to see it and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead, subscribe. Otherwise, YouTube might not show you my face again and you might miss out on that video. So go ahead, subscribe. And while you're down there, just click the like button as well. It would mean a lot for me and the channel. If we look at the data, this is the Consumer Price Index, which is measuring the inflation. And the way this is done, arguably, is you take a basket of goods, including gasoline prices, eggs, milk, things like that. You put it in a basket and you measure that over time. So during the pandemic, the actual inflation rate dropped below 0. You had some months where inflation was hitting minus 0.4%, which means if you held on to your money, it would be worth more the next day. And that was due to several reasons, where you no longer can travel, you don't need to go buy gasoline, you're not going to drive as much, everyone's home, there's no traveling, there's no spending at restaurants. Consumer demand for everything dropped. However, April 2021, we started seeing inflation go above the 2% target for Bank of Canada. In April 2021, it hit 3.4%. By December last year, we were at 4.8%. Things were getting more expensive already. However, nobody mentioned interest rates, nobody talked about it. In fact, everyone was saying interest rates will be like this forever. So don't worry about it, go buy a big house. February of this year, we hit 5.7%. And that's when we started seeing interest rates rise. In March, Bank of Canada announced that they're going to increase the overnight lending rate by 25 basis points, making the effective rate 0.5%. For a very long time, we were sitting at 0.25%. People purchased their big homes, line of credits to make bigger investments because it was technically supposed to stay the same way. Inflation peaked in June, hitting 8.1%. At that point, the policy rate hit 1.5%. By July, we were at 2.5%, and in September, we've hit 3.25%. Bank of Canada is going to be announcing their policy rate tomorrow. Are we going to see another increase? So that brings me to two questions. The first question is, if you compare inflation this year to last year and you want it to drop from the 7% down to 2%, it means everybody needs to bring prices back down to an unreasonable level. For example, gasoline prices have to hit 90 cents that we were seeing last year. I filled up my tank for 1.6 today in Toronto, so I don't see gas stations cutting 50 cents and just selling gasoline. It means we all have to stop driving our cars. If a grocery store increased the price of their eggs by 7% compared to last year, they're not going to drop their price so that we are sitting at that 2% inflation. So since we're comparing it to last year and we are seeing a modest drop and stabilization, let's call it, so inflation is not going crazy, how is having the target at 2% is going to help everybody? That's question number one for me. Now, question number two, I need you guys to help me answer this. Do you guys believe that Bank of Canada is going to actually stop increasing the interest rates? Or do you think Bank of Canada is going to continue on course even if we hit interest rates of 10 or 12% with disregard to what will happen to the economy? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.